This tutorial will give step-by-step instructions to make an electronic payment for the renewal application and/or the certificate bed fees for a Chapter 2800 assisted living residence certificate of compliance. The law that requires payment of fees is Title 55 PA Code Chapter 20. The specific fees can be found in Chapter 2800, which pertains to assisted living residences. Assisted living residences have two parts to their payment. The first payment is an application fee. The second payment is the per bed fee that is requested when the certificate of compliance is ready to be issued. The application fee for an assisted living residence is $300 no matter how many beds are licensed. If the assisted living residence is licensed with a special care unit, then the application fee is $450. Before making the payment, double check to be sure the home is licensed as an assisted living residence. This information can be found on the certificate of compliance on the line that indicates the number and title of the regulations. It can also be found on the type of service to be provided, and it will say assisted living special care if you have a special care unit as well. It is also found on the HS 1230, which is the notice of certificate approval and expiration, on the line that indicates service provided as assisted living or assisted living special care. It is also found on the HS 633.1, which is the renewal application that is received with the renewal packet as the pre-populated renewal application. Number 7 indicates type of service provided as assisted living or assisted living special care. So make sure that you actually do provide assisted living services rather than personal care home services. Do not pay the per bed fee until you receive a letter requesting the payment. The per bed fees are not assessed until the certificate of compliance is ready to be issued. We do that so that the correct amount can be assessed. And all payments will be made using this link that is shown here. If you are making an application payment or a per bed fee payment electronically, use this link. When you enter the web address, you will be taken to this screen called Make a Payment. All information must be entered for the person making the payment. It should not be the assisted living residence information. The required fields include first name, last name, address, city, state, and zip code of the person making the payment. There is an email field as well. That is not a required field. However, we do ask that you complete this field and provide an email address so that if there are any questions we may have about the payment, we will have a contact email so we can notify you and get the information we need. It will be required to receive a receipt for payment. Continuing on the payment screen, you have to select from the drop-down box under Agency, Human Services, as that is the agency for assisted living residences. So you choose Human Services. The next field is the program ID, and from the drop-down box you will choose 003 for assisted living, and you would also choose this 003 if you have an assisted living with special care. Both of those types of service have the same program ID. The next field is the amount field, and the amount field you will have to type in the amount that you are paying. So if it's a renewal application for assisted living, it would be $300. If it is a renewal application for assisted living special care, it would be $450. If you're paying the per bed fees, then that amount will be what was requested to be paid on your payment request letter, and you would type that amount in. The next field is the payment reference. You will enter your certificate or license number in this field. That is the 6-digit number that is at the bottom left of your certificate of compliance. That number can also be found on the HS 1230 and the HS 633.1, those documents we talked about earlier. The SAP vendor number will be left blank as that is not needed for this type of a payment. The total amount will pre-populate from whatever you entered in the amount field. Then choose your payment method, either ACH for a bank account payment or credit card for a credit card payment. Then click Make Payment. When you make the payment, the next screen will be one of these screens. If you made a payment with a charge card, then a 2% fee will be charged for using this portal, and you enter all this information about the cardholder, and there will be a submit button to submit your payment. If you're making an ACH bank payment, then this screen will appear and you'll complete all these fields, including your bank account information, the routing number, and the account number. And then again, there will be a button there to submit the payment. A receipt will be given so you can keep a copy for your records. This last slide, it lists contact information for the Office of Long-Term Living, Bureau of Human Services Licensing, who manages the applications and certificates of compliance for assisted living homes. Assisted living residences. Since your application payment was submitted electronically, you may submit your renewal application as well as your civil rights compliance renewal form to this email address listed here. If you have any questions that you need to speak to somebody about, you may call this number and then press number 4 for the extension for personal care homes and assisted living residences information, and to speak to somebody that can help you. And finally, if you have anything you want to send via physical mail, you can do that. You can send in your application and civil rights compliance renewal form with a check or money order payable to DHS or Commonwealth of PA, and then submit it in one packet to this address via, if you're sending via courier like UPS or FedEx, you would use this address. If you're sending it via United States Postal Service, then you would use this address. This concludes the tutorial for submitting electronic payments for the renewal application and or the per bed fees for an assisted living residence certificate of compliance.